My name is Haima Trotter. I'm 29 years old, and for the first time in 2 years, I'm breathing air that doesn't feel recycled. It's strange how freedom can feel sharp before it feels good, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This started 3 weeks ago at our friend Ben's 30th birthday party. My boyfriend, Adrian Vale, was 27. We had been together for 2 years, and he had lived in my condo for about 18 months. I'm a data analyst. Adrian was a graduate student. I like things that make sense. Numbers, patterns, cause and effect. When 1 plus 1 suddenly equals 5, I don't argue with mathematics. I check the formula. Adrian was passionate, impulsive, and chaotic in a way I used to find charming. He forgot appointments, lost his keys constantly, and could talk for an hour about some theory I barely understood. I thought we balanced each other. Ben's party was loud, crowded, and eventually somebody suggested Truth or Dare. I hate Truth or Dare. It's basically an HR complaint disguised as entertainment. Adrian loved it. Ben's cousins spun the bottle. It stopped on Adrian. Truth or Dare? Dare! Obviously. Ben's cousin grinned and pointed toward a woman near the kitchen. I dare you to kiss Jules for 7 seconds. My stomach tightened. Julianne Mercer. Jules, 28. She was in Adrian's graduate program. And lately, I heard her name constantly. Jules found this amazing coffee shop. Jules understands Professor Keller better than anyone. Jules and I stayed late, studying. I wasn't naturally jealous, but the math had started looking strange. Adrian glanced at me. Not for permission. To measure my reaction. I gave a tiny shrug. What was I supposed to do in front of 20 people? Stand up and forbid my boyfriend from participating? Adrian smiled. It's just a game. Then he walked over to Jules. She put her hands against his chest. He wrapped one hand around her waist. And they kissed. 7 seconds passed. Then 10, maybe 15. It wasn't a quick joke. It was open-mouthed, comfortable, familiar. The kind of kiss where neither person has to figure out what the other one is doing. People laughed and whistled. Inside my head, everything went quiet. When Adrian returned, his face was flushed. He sat beside me and squeezed my thigh. Don't be weird. I looked at him. It was just one kiss for Truth or Dare, he whispered. Don't be insecure. That sentence bothered me more than the kiss. I glanced at Jules, who suddenly found her drink fascinating. Then I smiled. I'm not insecure. Adrian blinked. Good. Hope you enjoy the game. His smile faltered. He wanted anger. He wanted me to sulk or demand we leave. Then he could tell everyone his girlfriend was controlling. Instead, I finished my drink. We left about an hour later. The drive home was silent. You're mad, Adrian said. No. Jaime, I'm tired. Inside the condo, he followed me into the bathroom. It was a stupid kiss. You're right. It was. That's it? You're just fine? There was frustration in his voice. That was when something clicked. Why was he upset that I wasn't upset? I rinsed my mouth. Adrian, I'm not giving you the fight you clearly want. I don't want a fight. You wanted to kiss Jules. You kissed her. Congratulations. I'm going to bed. I wasn't fine. I was processing. And when numbers stop making sense, you don't scream at the spreadsheet. You audit it. The next morning, Adrian went to class. I sat down at my desk. The condo was mine. Adrian wasn't on the mortgage. He barely contributed to utilities. His car was on my insurance because it saved him money. His phone was on my family plan for the same reason. I had never kept score. I thought I was supporting someone I loved. Then I opened the phone account. One number appeared everywhere. Calls, texts, late-night activity. I counted. 1,482 messages in 1 month. More than Adrian sent me. More than he sent his mother. A reverse lookup confirmed it. Julianne Mercer. I stared at the screen. The truth or dare kiss wasn't the beginning. It was a public preview. Then I remembered Rachel, Adrian's ex-girlfriend. According to him, Rachel had been jealous, controlling, invasive. She hated every female friend I had. She checked my phone. She accused me constantly. For 2 years, I believed him. Now those stories sounded rehearsed. I searched Rachel online, but stopped before contacting her. Instead, I found her older sister, Clara Bennett, 30, a paralegal. I sent her a message. Hi, Clara. This is going to sound strange. My name is Jaime Trotter, and I'm currently dating Adrian Vale. I think I need to talk to you about your sister. 10 minutes later, she replied, Coffee tomorrow, 11. I'll send the address. No questions. That frightened me more than anything. Clara was already seated when I arrived. Before I could explain, she said, Let me guess. Adrian told you Rachel was jealous, unstable, and controlling. My stomach dropped, almost word for word. And now you're becoming the controlling girlfriend? He hasn't said it exactly like that. Clara gave me a humorless smile. He will. Then she explained Adrian's pattern. Rachel had supported him financially, paid bills, helped with insurance, covered expenses. Then Adrian began talking constantly about another woman, me. He told Rachel you were just a friend, Clara said. Coffee became studying. Studying became late nights. When Rachel questioned it, he called her paranoid. I felt sick. When she finally checked the phone records, Adrian told everyone she was abusive because she invaded his privacy. That was the exact story Adrian had told me. And after they broke up, Clara looked directly at me. He moved on to you immediately. Every memory rearranged itself. Adrian crying in my car. Adrian saying Rachel destroyed his confidence. Adrian telling me I was the first woman who made him feel safe. I hadn't rescued him. I had simply been next. He's doing it again, I whispered. With who? Jules, someone from his program. Clara barely reacted. Of course, why does he do this? Because Adrian doesn't leave one relationship until the next one is ready. When I returned home, Adrian was making pasta. Domestic bliss. Hey babe, how was your day? Standard. He leaned in to kiss me. I let his lips brush my cheek. You're still weird about Ben's party, he said. No, Adrian. He rolled his eyes. I just don't want this turning into some jealousy thing. I looked at him. Neither did I. I wanted certainty, and 3 days later, I got it. Our friends, Alex and Sarah, were hosting their engagement party. Adrian bought a new shirt and spent most of the drive texting someone. I didn't ask who. Jules was already there when we arrived. Of course she was. At 9, the doorbell rang. Alex opened it, then laughed. Jaime, you didn't tell me you were bringing another guest. I stepped aside. Clara walked in wearing a sleek black dress. Across the room, Adrian saw her. His smile vanished. His entire face went pale. That reaction told me everything. He pushed through the crowd. What is she doing here? He grabbed my arm. I looked down until he released me. We were talking, I said. Why? Why does it matter? Jaime, don't play games with me. Jules had started walking toward us. Adrian looked trapped. And that was when I gave him the exact sentence he had handed me 3 weeks earlier. Don't be insecure, Adrian. His face froze. I smiled. She's just a friend. The ride home from Alex and Sarah's engagement party was silent. Adrian sat beside me with his arms crossed, staring through the passenger window. The second I closed the condo door behind us, he turned around. You humiliated me. I took off my coat. You brought Rachel's crazy sister to a party just to embarrass me. Clara isn't crazy. You don't even know her. I know enough. His face tightened. This is because of that stupid kiss? I looked at him. Was it stupid, Adrian, or was it sloppy? What the hell does that mean? It means I checked the phone bill. His expression changed. Not dramatically, just enough. I saw the 1,482 texts to Jules last month. He went completely still. I saw the calls, too. The late ones. The long ones. His anger disappeared, and something colder replaced it. You checked my phone records? I checked my phone bill. That's insane. There it is. What? The script. His eyes narrowed. I continued. Rachel was controlling because she checked the phone records. Rachel was jealous because she questioned your female friends. Rachel was abusive because she noticed you were lining up someone else. He stared at me. And now I'm supposed to become Rachel. You talked to Clara about me? Yes. You had no right. I almost laughed. You spent 2 years telling me Rachel was unstable while apparently doing the exact same thing to her that you're doing to me. I'm not cheating on you. Then Jules won't mind supporting you. Silence. I pointed toward the hallway. Get out. His mouth opened. What? We're done. Jaime, stop being dramatic. I'm giving you 30 days to move out. Tomorrow I'll give you written notice. His face went pale. You can't just kick me out. It's my condo. I live here. You contribute almost nothing. I'm a student. You're also an adult. He stared at me like he couldn't understand why the usual argument wasn't working. You're throwing me out in the middle of the semester over one kiss? No. I stepped closer. I'm throwing you out because you've been lying to me, using me, and preparing to replace me while I pay for your life. His jaw tightened. You sound exactly like Rachel. That sentence settled everything. I nodded. Good night, Adrian. The next morning, I gave him the formal 30-day notice. He didn't leave. Of course he didn't. Instead, his family got involved. His mother, Eileen, called me 2 days later. Jaime, sweetheart, I think there's been some misunderstanding. There hasn't. Adrian is under enormous pressure. Midterms are coming up. He can study somewhere else. You can't uproot him like this. He has 30 days. He's on the dean's list. You could damage his entire future. I stared out my office window. Your son has been carrying on an emotional affair while I pay his bills. Whatever happens next is his responsibility. Eileen sighed dramatically. You women today are so quick to throw relationships away. I hung up. Then Adrian stopped pretending we could coexist peacefully. One evening I came home and my espresso machine wouldn't turn on. It was expensive, less than 6 months old. I opened the water reservoir. Sticky. I touched it. Sugar. Someone had poured sugar directly into it. I stood in the kitchen staring at the machine. Adrian walked past. Something wrong? I looked at him. He smiled. Barely. A few days later, I came home and found a framed photograph of me, and my late father shattered on the floor beside my desk. Adrian appeared behind me. Oh my God. His hand went to his mouth. I was dusting earlier. It must have slipped. I looked down at the broken glass. The frame had been sitting nearly a foot from the edge. It slipped. I said I'm sorry. But he was smiling again. Just slightly. That was the moment I understood what he wanted. A reaction. He wanted me to scream. Maybe push him. Throw something. Anything he could use later. So I didn't. I took out my phone. Who are you calling? The police. His smile disappeared. 2 officers arrived about 40 minutes later. I explained the situation calmly. The breakup. The 30-day notice. The damaged espresso machine. The broken photograph. One officer looked at Adrian. Did you break this intentionally? Before I could answer, Adrian started crying. Actual tears. I don't know what she's talking about. He wiped his face. She's been acting strange ever since that party. She checked my phone records. She's hanging around with my ex-girlfriend's sister. She keeps watching me. I stared at him. He continued. I'm just trying to finish school. She's trying to make me homeless. One officer looked at me. Ma'am, did you see him break the frame? No. Do you have cameras? Not yet, Adrian sniffed. She probably broke it herself. I felt something cold move through me. The officers exchanged a glance. Finally, one said, "This sounds like a civil dispute. Without evidence, there's not much we can do." I nodded. Understood. They left. The moment the door closed, Adrian stopped crying. Just stopped. He crossed his arms. "See?" I said nothing. "No one believes you." I looked at him. "You're right." His smile returned. The next afternoon, I installed a small security camera on the bookshelf, facing the living room and my desk. Adrian spotted it immediately. "What the hell is that?" "A camera." "You can't record me." "It's in my living room." This is psychotic. "Good. Then don't touch anything, and the footage will be very boring." He didn't speak to me for 3 days. Honestly, those were the best 3 days we'd had in months. Then the 30 days expired. I came home from work expecting boxes. Instead, Adrian was stretched across my couch watching Netflix. On my account. Eating food I had bought. I put my bag down. "Your 30 days are up." "I know. Then why are you still here?" He paused the television. "So, evict me." I stared at him. He smiled. I looked it up. "It can take months." My stomach tightened. "You'd really do this? You're the one who wanted to play hardball." "This isn't hardball, Adrian. This is squatting." "Call it whatever you want." He leaned back. "You'll spend money on lawyers, court fees, all of it. And meanwhile, I'll tell everyone exactly what you're doing to me." "And what am I doing?" "Trying to make a student homeless because you're jealous." There it was again, the narrative. Only now he had researched just enough law to weaponize it. So I filed. Formal eviction. He was served. And he laughed. For the next several days, he acted like he had won. That was when Clara called. "He's too comfortable," she said. "Tell me something I don't know." "He thinks you'll get exhausted. I'm already exhausted." "Exactly. That's his strategy." I rubbed my forehead. "So what do I do?" "We find leverage. He has no money." "His parents?" "They think he's perfect." "School?" I stopped. "What about school? You said he has some prestigious fellowship." "Yeah. What is it called?" I told her. I heard typing. Then silence. "Jamie?" Something in her voice changed. "What?" "This fellowship isn't just tuition." "What do you mean?" "It pays tuition plus a monthly living stipend." I sat upright. "How much?" More typing. Then Clara said, $2,800. I didn't answer. "Jaime? Per semester?" "Per month." The room seemed to tilt. $2,800. Every month. For almost 2 years. While I paid the mortgage. Utilities. Internet. Phone. Insurance. Groceries. He had always told me he was broke. He complained when textbooks cost too much. He once let me pay a $600 car repair because he said he had $17 in checking. My voice came out quietly. "Where is the money?" "That," Clara said, "is exactly what I'm wondering." I opened my laptop. Suddenly, every number in our relationship looked different. Adrian hadn't needed my support. He had simply preferred using it. And for the second time in 3 weeks, the math was wrong. Only this time. I was beginning to understand how wrong. Clara called me again the next morning. I found something else. I was already at my desk. "What?" "The fellowship application requirements." I opened my laptop. It requires 2 personal references and a statement of financial need. My stomach tightened. I remembered Adrian handing me paperwork almost 2 years earlier. He had me sign a reference. Clara went quiet. "Did you write it?" "No." Adrian did. He said he was overwhelmed with applications, so I read it and signed. What did it say? That he was brilliant, hardworking, and financially struggling. That he'd be relying on personal support because his family couldn't help much. Another silence. "Jaime," Clara said carefully, "he used your reference to strengthen his financial need claim." I stared at the screen. For almost 2 years, Adrian had received $2,800 every month while letting me believe he could barely afford textbooks. I paid his phone, his insurance, utilities, groceries, even a $600 car repair. He wasn't surviving because of me. He was saving money because of me. How much would that be? I whispered. Over 2 years? Potentially more than $60,000. The number made me feel physically sick. I had spent months worrying about whether Adrian felt ashamed that I supported him. Meanwhile, he had been quietly profiting from my generosity. I wasn't angry anymore. I was resolved. What do I do? Clara answered immediately. You document everything. No revenge. No threats. Just facts. So I did what I do best. I built a file. Phone records. Car insurance statements showing Adrian's vehicle on my policy. Utility payments. Mortgage records. The formal 30-day notice. The eviction filing. The police report from the damaged photograph. Then I wrote a letter to Adrian's mentor, Dr. Albright, and the fellowship committee. I explained that I had recently discovered significant discrepancies between the financial circumstances Adrian had represented and the reality of our household. I explained that I had signed a reference based on information Adrian gave me. I attached documentation showing that I had covered nearly all his living expenses. I didn't call him a thief. I didn't mention revenge. I simply presented the numbers. Then I sent everything. Certified mail. 3 days later, I came home from work and nearly walked into a stack of boxes. The condo was chaos. Adrian was throwing clothes into a moving box. His parents, Mark and Eileen, were there. Eileen, who had called me heartless weeks earlier, wouldn't even look at me. Mark looked exhausted. Adrian turned when he heard the door. His eyes were red. You ruined me. These weren't the tears he had performed for the police. These were real. What happened? I asked. You know exactly what happened. He threw a textbook into a box. Dr. Albright called me into her office. The fellowship committee is reviewing everything. I put my bag down. Then answer their questions. You sent them my private information? I sent them my financial records. You wanted to destroy me. No. I looked around at the boxes. I wanted you out of my home. You couldn't just lose, could you? That almost made me laugh. Lose what, Adrian? Me. The room went quiet. Even his father looked at him. Adrian pointed at me. You're doing this because I wanted Jules. There it was, finally. Not times nothing happened. Not times she's just a friend. I nodded slowly. Thank you. His face changed. For what? For finally admitting it. He realized his mistake immediately. Eileen whispered, Adrian. He turned away. I looked at him. You received $2,800 every month while telling me you had no money. I was saving it. While I supported you, we were partners. Partners contribute. I gave you 2 years, and apparently I gave you $60,000 worth of opportunity to save. That money was mine, I know. I kept my voice calm. That's the point. You had money. You just preferred spending mine. Mark picked up a box. That's enough. Let's go. Adrian looked at his father. She's destroying my future. Mark's expression hardened. No, you lied to everyone. Pack. That seemed to hurt Adrian more than anything I could have said. They were gone within an hour. When the door finally closed, I stood alone in the living room. The place was a disaster. Trash on the counter, dirty dishes, the bathroom untouched. Petty to the very end. But he was gone. That night, my phone buzzed from an unfamiliar number. Hey, it's Jules. I almost deleted it. Another message arrived. I don't know what you did, but Adrian is completely wrecked. Getting his school involved was cruel. I stared at the screen. Then I typed, he told me Rachel was controlling when I met him. 3 dots appeared. "What does that have to do with anything?" I replied. "Someday he may tell another woman the same thing about me." There was no response. I blocked the number. The eviction filing became unnecessary. The espresso machine was ruined. The photograph of my father needed a new frame, and I had lost 2 years supporting someone who had been perfectly capable of supporting himself. It didn't feel like winning. Mostly, I felt tired. A few nights later, I met Clara for a drink. She lifted her glass to truth. I touched mine against hers to patterns. She smiled. "Hopefully you never need another audit like this." Hopefully. The next morning, I had the locks changed. The locksmith handed me 2 new keys. After he left, I stood outside my condo for a moment and slid one into the lock. Click. Smooth. Clean. No Adrian. No Jules. No arguments about jealousy. No wondering whether I was imagining things. Just silence. For 2 years, I thought love meant helping someone carry their weight. I finally understood that Adrian had never been carrying anything. He had simply been handing it all to me. I opened the door and stepped inside. For the first time in a long time, the condo felt like mine again. And finally, the spreadsheet balanced.